Thanks to Peg for having me here with so many distinguished writers. Feels like we're all sort of out of time, out of body. A lot of things, I guess. But I'm grateful to be here with everybody at a time when we need to remember there are things more powerful than hate that bring us together. So. Judas. You turn away. No one for miles reveres angels anymore. Look, the chair is just a chair. It's just milkweed at the window, and all it is in light that keeps you up at night, with whatever's left of whoever dreamed here last. And you wept, as if it mattered to the dirt, which is maybe where the story leads. Someone had to go first. The 10-carat cross your father wore in his lapel through 2 wars was just an emblem that bore a fate that is a symbol of a symbol. See how the subject quakes? That too's a noose. You keep on talking with the fig from your childhood's edge in those undivided yards. Midway down James Street, you just try and you'll see Mr. I wore a scapular once. There's no one kind of love that complicates the dark. December, none of it means nothing, and nobody sleeps. Jesus was a liar. So I'm really happy to be reading with Barrett Warner, who's an old mate from Bennington College. When I was writing a lot about my father's death from lung cancer, and I was a little too close to it, Barrett told me a joke. And he said, "Brian," and he's like a cowboy astronaut, so this is his. How do you make a dead dad float? I said, I don't know, Barrett. How do you make a dead dad float? 2 scoops of ice cream and a dead dad. So I don't know if he's floating. This one's from my dad. Coda with a corpse floating in the Patapsco River, which means tide covered with froth. Which means, no, that isn't the first snow forming in his eyes when the fire crews find him on the south end of Baltimore. His knees like split grapefruits. Flow slashed under fog the shippers passed through like the breath of a horse I saw on its side outside Lancaster when I was 9 with my father. Buying trinkets the Amish carved to pass their self-denial, even fallen Catholics envy. And the eldest one, or most certainly one of the elderly ones, hosing off the blood where the ankle of that indescribable heap broke through cleanly, leaving a spot in the grass like a tumor in a PET scan seen from above, so that you looked at the shape your inner life had taken before the mind caught up with the body, which had always been dying and unkeepable anyway. Like a battery I find floating, a father. It's never about the horse. Flags on the moon. Curiosity tells us there are blue dunes on Mars, that a stream bed trenched knee-deep for 1,000 years, NASA believes, like a vertebrae in clay. An ancient skeleton current we keep looking for. That there was water once before us, belonging to no one, as though space exploration were a post-colonial thought, which it is not at all. There are 5 U.S. flags left standing on the moon, $5 each, stitched with nylon from Jersey, and all of them bleached into one color now. in the nation of nothingness. God says, I don't believe you. And Dr. Stout goes on about how we don't want other worlds in the first go at Solaris. We just want a mirror, which I take to mean we cut down trees, we press into reams on which we write down our history of cutting down the trees. Or that space rocks crumble, then clump, like my Kuma Marie on the mantle here in front of me, even if I shake her and make a stupid wish. The first of us to occupy the Americas may not have crossed Beringia Land Bridge. A new report for now says to believe. Worm roots collapsing behind us as we move. And I felt important then, she said, my mother, that is. About her stint cleaning very small circuitry chips with a dollhouse brush for one of the missions of Apollo, when she was young and needed a few bucks for gas. Yes, the mission that didn't last. What happened when we turned the two mirrors once, Sean and Constance and I, in the room above the creek, always regorging after a good stretch of rain? What happened after we turned them toward the sun, facing one another, was that the sun became an amplified burst. Coming in, the snow-blinding walls, in that one perfect minute, I was standing inside a star. Thanks to everybody for coming. Eulogy. Facing Ohio, you could know in a certain light the bridges were destined to be fossils for what cannot last or be brought together, which is true too of the crucifix and the radio. You can know that jumpers over time would wash ashore faces blue and red like rained-on gentians, as they always did by December, when even the cold grip of water is smaller in the new light, and fish-eye flat at times and deeper than the pupils of chieftains in photographs. And you would know then, none of us can last. And fear is like that. A silence confused into a nightmare. So I'm going to say something about that time with light shining through it. A pinwheel won at carnival with its punch-through stars. Or some words in a lost style of white oak roots growing upward in a ring through the once hips of steelmen of the Commonwealth at large, who in the end were laid by a lake of jasmine that read red in the war a century before my father found and lost Jesus, like the deed to an heirloom. And I'm going to say yarns live on in these parts along the Mon, how Shawano spirits wet their needles, borne back as mosquitoes. Or the one about Peggy Lipton, whom the township found broken-nailed in the nettles by St. Anthony's Grove, where parish boys stripped gophers with mock Navajo penknives and needle-nose pliers for the sexton each spring. And I'll stop now to remind you, she sulks with the fog under the elm, it's said, so that even now no one looks into the eye of a child. And I'll remark upon the local who survived trench warfare at Flanders and how later in the sluice was alchemized accidentally and melted into bomb fragments, and so traveled Europe once more over the Rhineland. And we are doing this together, telling each other there are small birds that were humans once, and so on. I'm going to say that is one more lighter of the dream to shed. And there's only what the rain takes apart with its tiny hands. And the earth is full of scarecrows.